guys, I'm McKenna and welcome back to Call You in 5. As you can see, my co-host Cassie is not here with me today. She is still in her travel era and her grinding working era. This is like her busy time, which is totally okay. I'm excited because today I'm going to talk about a topic that I feel like I get a lot of questions on, and it's like something that I love doing, and it's becoming a morning person. So I'm gonna give you guys all my tips and tricks today on how to become a morning person and how to stick to it. Last week we talked about routines, and I feel like this kind of goes hand in hand with that. Like a lot of people want to become morning people, but they say they can't. But I think that anybody can become a morning person if you have the right technique in place, and we're gonna talk about that. But could be a hot take because I know some people don't think that you can become a morning person if you're not, but I think you can. And first, I wanted to just kind of get into some life updates. Nothing really too crazy for life updates for me, but this morning was a little bit chaotic. Leela and I drove to Trader Joe's to go just get our weekly groceries. We don't actually shop at Trader Joe's a ton, so I was excited to go there and get like some seasonal stuff, some pumpkin stuff, just enjoy all the fall stuff from Trader Joe's. And we had a good time, and on our drive home we were driving on the freeway and a car in front of us had a tire blowout, and I was thinking, wow, so thankful that's not me, glad I haven't had a tire blowout. And I don't know if maybe something off their tire like went under my car or what, but I took the exit in front of me, and which is our exit to our house, and the check tire air pressure light went on. And I'm like, oh, weird. I just need to go take it in because it's getting colder out. Probably the tire pressure just needs to be filled up a little bit since it's colder. No, all of a sudden, the car was just making like a weird noise. So I pulled off, and sure enough, my tire was completely flat. Completely flat. So I texted my husband, I called my husband. He said he'd be right down. He was getting off a meeting. And so he was probably like 15-ish minutes out before as I was hanging up the phone, I look out my window and this really nice guy pulled up and said, let me help you. I saw that you have a baby, or I had Leela's stroller in the bed of the truck. So he must have seen that. He was like, I saw you have a baby. Like, I want to help. I can change your tire. It's an F-150 that I was driving. So it's not your typical like switch on a tire. Like, you would think. I've switched out a tire on my Mazda once before, like a long time ago. I've had my Mazda for like 8 years. An F-150 is very different, and I'm so glad he was there to help because I would have never been able to do it. But yeah, so that happened. He was so sweet. He told me he had 2 daughters, and he just like hoped that if this ever happened to them, somebody else would pull over for them. So he just wanted to be that person for me, which he was so sweet. And then the crazy thing was, he said that he takes the same route every single day. He runs his own business. He takes the same route every single day. And he took a wrong turn today and decided he wanted to go get an energy drink. And he happened to drive by me. So sweet of him to come help. And then Joey showed up like right as he was done finishing changing out the tire. He was so fast. I felt like he was really quick at it. He knew exactly what he was doing. So we drove it over and dropped the truck off to get all new tires, because it's about time we get new tires anyways. So we're getting all new tires on our car currently, and I'm back to driving the Mazda in the meantime. You guys know, if you know, I should say, I've been trying to get rid of my Mazda for a while. Not really. It's a great car. I've had it for a long time, but it's a compact sedan, so it's really tiny, and it's not fun to put a car seat in and out of it. But anyways, with all that being said, it really, it was a bad situation, but it was okay. It wasn't too bad. But I made myself a chai latte with pumpkin cold foam from some of the stuff that I got from Trader Joe's, and I figured I would share the recipe with you guys. I'm obviously going to make this and post it to TikTok. So if you need a visual, you can follow me on TikTok, McKenna H. Ashcraft, and you can see it there. But if you don't need a visual, I'll just give you the recipe. It was 3 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream, 2 tablespoons of milk, so that like almost 1-to-1 ratio, not quite, but almost. And then 1 to 2 tablespoons of pumpkin puree. I kind of just did like 1 big tablespoon of pumpkin puree, and that was like more than enough pumpkin for me in it. I did 1/4 teaspoon of pumpkin spice in there, 1 teaspoon of brown sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1/2 teaspoon of maple syrup. And then I use my little frother, frothed it up, and put it on my chai. And it's very festive for fall. It is bringing in the fall mood. If you're here on YouTube, you can see what I'm pointing at. I'm pointing at my chai. But if you're just listening on the podcast, I'm pointing at my chai latte, and it's very good. I have it here with me, and it's just setting a vibe. Anyways, let's get into today's episode. Of course, I have notes on my phone because I'm very much a note person. Cassie is so good at just like prepping it in her head and knowing, like, she's such a good public speaker. I'm not that. I need to have a layout of where I'm going with things. So we have 10 things that will help you become a morning person. And let's start with the first one. As you guys could guess, it goes along with last week's episode. The first thing I want to talk about is consistency. So when you wake up and when you go to sleep, it's super important that you're consistent with that, because if your body gets used to going to bed late, it's going to continue to go to bed late. It's going to be hard to make like a dramatic change if, like, my husband goes to bed at like midnight or later every night, and I go to bed at 9:30. If he were to try to go to bed at 9:30, it probably just wouldn't happen. So, or if vice versa, I was to try and stay up later, I never can, but that's because I've been consistently going to bed at 9:30 and he's been consistently going to bed at midnight. So if somebody wants to try to become a morning person, you still need to get a lot of sleep. You still need to get enough sleep. So you're gonna have to go to bed earlier. And it's just gonna be something that you're gonna have to build into. Obviously, if you wake up every single day at 9 or 10, it's gonna be way too hard for you to start waking up at 5 a.m. My cat is joining the podcast. Hey, Muffins, you're gonna knock over my camera. Let's get down, Muffins. Okay, Chan, cut all that out. Freak. Muffins. Dang it. Oh, you really messed it up. Okay. Chan, hopefully you can cut that out. Oh shoot, it's all crooked now. Okay, thank you, Chan. Dang, I forgot where I left off. So basically, in short, build up to where you want to wake up. I would kind of have a goal in mind. Like, say if you wake up at 9 or 10 every day, waking up at 8 might be a good goal for you to have for a while. And vice versa. Going to bed maybe an hour earlier each night. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is never hit snooze, which I do that on occasion, but I've noticed the more and more I hit snooze, the less likely it is that I'm going to get up if I don't have an obligation or something that I need to be at. So I have always been a morning person. I have always been a morning person as long as I can remember. But since, becoming married to somebody who is not a morning person, I like to hang out with him and be with him. So I end up staying up later, which leads to me sleeping in a little bit later. And I kind of fell out of routine when I was in the summer and had less obligations to waking up early. But I'm trying to get myself back onto that routine. And so I've been putting my phone in like across the room, and that does not allow me to hit snooze. I have to get up, go over and turn it off, and usually by then I'm awake and it's not a habit that I've formed to hit snooze. So I wouldn't even build that habit to start. I would just make it to where you do not hit snooze. As soon as you hear the alarm go off, you turn it off, you sit up, right? And along with not hitting snooze, you want to wake your body up, because as soon as you hear that beeping of the alarm going off, your mind is awake, but your body needs to follow. So the best way to do that is to stretch, get up and go get your alarm from across the room. That usually wakes my body up. Washing your face, anything like that. You could do some kind of gradual like light that wakes you up. I use my Hatch alarm lately. I just got the Hatch alarm, like the sunrise alarm, maybe a little less than a month ago, and I've been using it a ton, and I love it. I love that I usually wake up before my alarm even goes off. And if my alarm does go off, the room is light and I have it set to birds chirping. So I wake up in a good mood. I don't wake up in a frantic panic, sending my body into like fight or flight immediately. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but as soon as you hear your alarm go off, it's kind of like frantic, turn it off. It's so loud. It's that horn that's beeping. It's just not a vibe. So I would do something that is not going to wake you up in some kind of frantic way. The Hatch alarm is a little bit pricey. I don't have the newest one, which the older one is a little bit cheaper, so you can save some money that way. But in my opinion, it's totally worth it. Like this morning, I woke up 10 minutes before my alarm went off because my room started to get lighter. And it was just like a great way to wake up. Felt amazing. Was able to get out of bed and go to my workout just fine. The next thing I wanted to talk about, so this is number 4, is washing your face. I know I kind of mentioned that in the last one. That will wake your body up. But if you just have that routine, when you get out of bed, go in, wash your face, it's going to help you wake up. It's going to splash some water on your face, help you wake up, and help you make it through the hardest part, which is actually getting out of bed. Number 5 is remember your motivation. So for me, my motivation is getting a workout first thing in the morning. If I don't wake up early, then I usually don't get a workout in until later in the day. And it is so much harder for me to work out later in the day. So for me, that's my motivation. Maybe you have some other kind of motivation, but it's good to have that in the forefront of your mind. Number 6 is hydrate. So I usually try to have my Stanley or my Simple Moderns cup right by my bed, and I usually try to drink that first thing in the morning because I never get enough water throughout the day, but that's just like a good way to get started in the morning is drink your water, hydrate. That also is going to help you wake up, and it's also going to make you feel better if water is the first thing you put in your body rather than like coffee or chai or something else or some kind of like high sugar food. So get water in your body first thing in the morning. The next thing that I want to talk about that is kind of common sense, I feel like everybody knows this one, but nobody does this one, is plan the night before. So I always look at my calendar, usually on my phone. I just do everything digital now because it's so much easier. I just pull up my calendar on my phone and I look at what I have the next day and I kind of mentally plan out. And usually it's a workout first thing in the morning. So I've been kind of laying out my outfits in my closet the night before, setting out my shoes, setting out my socks. So it's easy to wake up and I know exactly what to do next. It's not a matter of like going in and making decisions. I like to make those decisions the night before so then I don't have to think in the morning, and it makes waking up so much easier. So definitely recommend that. Plan the night before. Also lay out your outfit the night before. I know everybody knows this, but how many people do you know that actually do it? Because I feel like it's been really good for me to start doing that. Okay, and then the next thing, we're kind of going through today's episode pretty quick, but that's good. You know, we're going to just get to the point. Go to bed as soon as you feel tired. I know for me that's a hard one because I want to stay up later to be around my husband, spend time with Leela. Well, Leela's usually in bed by then, but once she goes to bed, that's when my husband and I have like time to go watch a movie or do something. Like, I want to hang out with him, but I'm always usually tired. So the first thing, or the moment you feel tired, you should just go to bed. That's your body telling you you're tired. Don't get in bed and scroll on your phone. I'm guilty of it, but go to bed when you're tired, and that's going to help you set a better routine that you can stick to. The next thing, we just mentioned it in the last one, is no phone when you get in bed. Get in bed, put your phone somewhere else. Everybody knows that blue light on your phone keeps you awake longer, makes it harder to sleep. But also, it is so easy to get on TikTok thinking you're only going to be on there watching a couple of videos and then an hour goes by. So when you get in bed, don't open up your phone. Don't answer emails. Have that time set aside at a later time, and just don't get on your phone. There's really not much more to say to that one. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is don't take a nap during the day. That is going to mess up your night routine. That is going to keep you up later, which for me, I am very guilty of trying to nap when Leela's napping. I usually try and take a quick like 15-20 minute power nap, and it messes it up that night because I end up staying up later and then I want to sleep in the next day, and it just kind of messes up the whole schedule. So if you can avoid taking a nap during the day, that could be just like me outing myself because maybe a lot of people don't nap during the day. But if you're a mom and you do nap because you're exhausted after chasing your little ones around, try not to nap because you're gonna be able to go to bed easier and better. You're not gonna be on your phone scrolling. You're not gonna just be wasting time trying to fall asleep. You're gonna be able to fall asleep easier at night. So those are my 10 tips on how to become a morning person. I really do think that anybody can become a morning person. You just have to set the right things in place. Set yourself up for success in order to become one. So let me know if you try those tips, or if there's anything that I forgot or that you want to add. Let me know. And make sure, if you're listening to this podcast on any podcast platform, give us a 5-star review. It helps us out tremendously and allows us to keep creating content. And also, if you're here on YouTube, same thing, subscribe and let's chat in the comments. We love chatting with you. So anyways, if you made it this far, we love you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.